Living with Nousha. I'm Nousha, a former climber of the corporate ladder turned lifestyle entrepreneur. Each week, I'll bring you an inspiring message to support you in designing and creating a vibrant, fulfilling life. Thank you for joining me today. Now let's get started. Hello and welcome to Vibrant Living with Nousha. I'm Nousha, super excited to be here with you today and our special guest, Kind Dulai-Gill. Welcome, Kindy.
Thank you for having me here, Nousha.
Oh, so nice to have you here, Kindy. And friends, I'm going to share a little bit of background about Kindy before we dive into her inspiring story. So she's been married for 30 years. Wow. That's true. Something.
It sure has.
Yeah, I'm sure. She has 3 beautiful children. As well, she's a CPA and she was a former CEO of a private company responsible for 3,000 people nationally in the United Kingdom. Now today, she's the owner and CEO of Spark Expansion. It's an organization that sparks permanent transformational change in individuals, families, and organizations from the inside out. So I'm really excited for you to hear about her transformation, and she was known as the proverbial Superwoman, right? As we were talking about. And
this is true.
And she transformed, and today she's a grounded, fulfilled mother, and I'm excited for her to share her story. So let's dive in, Kindy. Let's see. Let's start with, what drove you to be the Superwoman?
I suppose that there's a sense that everybody's got to lead. There's always a person that tends to lead in a home.
Yes.
And a person that is the one that's happy to fill in the gaps.
Right. To follow, yeah.
Yeah. And so instinctively, it just felt like I ought to be the one taking the lead.
Yeah.
It naturally arose. Somehow it was something that I was good at doing. Foreseeing where we needed to be, what needed to happen, the organizational skills, the logic and everything. So that's something that came very easy to me.
Right.
And then I guess the part that's going to surprise most of our audience will be the fact that when we like to control and have everything organized a certain way, there is that tendency that is a bit of a weakness that drives us to do that, because the desire to control comes from the fear to just go with the flow.
Yes.
So along with that Superwoman status is that fear lurking in the background that's pushing us, that's sort of saying, I've got to keep it all together.
Yeah.
And we haven't understood that really that responsibility isn't really there for one person to keep it all together.
Wow. That must have been so emotionally heavy and draining. And I'm curious, what was the price that your emotional health had to pay by attempting to be this Superwoman, the strong one, keeping it all together, especially with 3 kids, and you had a thriving career?
It is a huge price, interestingly, because what we're doing is we're preventing ourselves from accepting our own weaknesses, our vulnerabilities. And it's like, like how you get that shell, so for example, a seed, right, that goes into the ground, and it's got a hard shell.
Yeah.
Well, if that hard shell never gets broken, then that seed can never go into the ground, and it can't actually become the flower that it's destined to be.
Wow. So
really the Superwoman syndrome and that sort of tendency is a little bit like that, where you've got this hard shell, but inside you is the vulnerability, the weakness, the sense of the wobbliness, all of that is sort of trapped inside you, and you're trying not to feel it, whilst you're attempting to be that hard seed.
Yes.
But of course, if you carry on remaining hard like that and crusty, then you're never really going to find your potential, and you're never going to flower into anything meaningful.
That's such a beautiful metaphor, and it's like, I get it. So you were stuck in your growth. You weren't growing, you weren't expanding, you weren't fulfilled.
No.
Because of that beautiful,
because there's something inside trembling away that you're not even willing to look at, or in fact you don't even know it's there. Because there's a part of us, when we're capable of getting a lot done, there's a part of us that thrives on the fact that we've got a lot done. And there's a part of us that sort of has an identity all wrapped around what we're capable of doing. But we don't see that that's an avoidance tactic to go to see the other stuff.
Right. Yeah. So where do you think this Superwoman syndrome comes from? Because I'm sure you're not alone, and I know there's probably certain friends listening who are like, I'm a Superwoman. Or maybe you know a Superwoman. Where does this come from? And I think it's a pattern, obviously, amongst high-achieving women, usually.
I think it's coming from a space where, you know, as women, there is something about us that instinctively goes out to nurture.
Yes.
So there's a part in us that just wants to play out that role, right?
Yeah.
And we don't even know where it's coming from. And generationally, clearly, it's come from our ancestors, where we are the providers of nurture. We instinctively are heart-centered. We want to give. We have our bodies used by life to bring new life in. And so just through that instinct and that natural state, we know that we go into the background for the child to be at the foreground. And we're going to provide for its needs almost automatically rather than for our needs, because nature does that through us.
Right.
So I think the Superwoman syndrome is a byproduct of all that versatility and that flexibility that we have and that natural tendency to nurture others ahead of our own needs.
Especially if you're capable, strong, smart, there's even more of a tendency because you can do it. You can handle it.
Because the logical part of you thinks it can sort of rotate all those plates and just keep them spinning.
Right.
And it genuinely thinks that none of them are going to collapse.
Right. So, you know, it's interesting you say none of them are going to collapse. What happened that Superwoman got dismantled?
It was painful. So some plates need to collapse. Basically that idea that you can fix everything.
Yes.
Sort of that tendency that it's all within my reach to unravel and fix and solve. So obviously there has to be some things that you weren't able to fix and solve, and they started to arrive one after the other. So I had 3 hits. And
3 plates fell.
Big ones.
Yes.
That couldn't be fixed.
Yes.
And it was very obvious these things can't be fixed. So the first was around my business, and one of our biggest customers decided to take their business elsewhere after 39 years.
Oh, wow.
So I was left with a very difficult decision of, do I now restructure yet again and go into more crisis management in terms of shifting everything, or do I just walk away from this? And I decided just around my 40th birthday to sell what I could, the parts that could be salvaged, and then the rest I put into voluntary liquidation, which was a very, very difficult thing to do. And then soon after that, within about 5 or 6 months, I think, my sister had a car accident and she became paralyzed in that car accident. So I'd seen sort of the destruction of a career and its flowering and didn't understand why that had to go that way. And then I'm now watching a human body, very functional, suddenly being less than what it was once. And I didn't understand why that pain and that adversity of having to now function out of a new way of living. It took a long time. I think she was in hospital for about 7.5 months.
Wow.
But it was a grueling time for us to be observing that, and even more grueling for her to be in those circumstances. So that was the second really big hit, where again I couldn't control. And I even tried to tell the doctors that were letting us know that she was paralyzed, that surely she could walk again. Like I wanted to defy that diagnosis, right?
Yeah.
And then the third thing was with my relationship with my husband. So we emigrated here to Vancouver in 2006. And during the strain of the emigration, our relationship was sort of like pulling in two different directions. And the conflict that was arising in our home was huge.
Wow.
So yeah, and it felt like, oh my God, this is unfixable too.
Yes, that's a lot. That's a lot to happen at once. And so what did you do?
I did what every superwoman would try to do.
Yeah,
I thought it was time to fix me. I'm like, okay, all these things that are going on, they're obviously a reflection of something's wrong with me. Like, I've got a dark cloud over me. I'm depressed. I'm sad.
Yeah.
So clearly I've got to do something about this, right? So it's like, okay, let's start reading self-help books.
Right.
Miguel Ruiz, Deepak Chopra, Wayne Dyer, Oprah Winfrey, Abraham Hicks, Gary Renard. It went on and on and on. Eckhart Tolle, right? And so I'm reading all these concepts, and you're getting the sense that, okay, I should be doing affirmations, or I should be more grateful, or I should be forgiving certain circumstances, or I should be forgiving myself or somebody else. And it went on and on and on like this. And I have to say to all of our audience that I was in more confusion then trying to fix and solve myself than I had been prior.
Wow.
Because now there was no conversation that could go on in my head without me now trying to review what it just said, to pivot or rotate to a new place,
to
or
be grateful, or to
whatever.
do affirmations.
That's right. And my God, that was such a lot of work. So yeah, Superwoman decided that she didn't know what the answers were, so she stepped out of the way.
So then what happened? You know, today you're this grounded, fulfilled mother.
I'm still working on that too.
Transformation. So what happened?
Okay, so I gave up. The sense of I don't know what to do. And I suppose that was the best thing that really happened, because it was the first recognition that my mind had that I don't actually have the answers. And so life is sort of saying, yes, I was waiting for you to get out of the way.
You know, it makes me think of that quote. I think it's Steve Martin. He says, "It's not what you know, it's what you think you know that's not so."
That's right.
So you just like let go of the reins and
that's right.
Okay, it's not going to come from my head.
Well, it wasn't with a fixed agenda as such. It was a genuine let go. Like, what I'm doing...
You just surrendered.
Yeah,
literally.
it's like what I'm doing isn't working.
Yeah.
I can't be wasting any more time on it. But I had no idea of what was going to come next. And so obviously, you know, life goes, okay, yes. So it literally threw a book at my feet. Literally at chapters. And I picked up this book, and it was entitled In Search of the Miraculous. And I'm thinking, I'm still looking for my miracle. But then there's the other rational part that came in going, no, I'm not going to read any more books. I can't do any more of this. And I was trying to return the book onto the shelf. And on the back, there was a testimonial that just caught my eye. And it sort of said, it said something very professional, but paraphrased to me.
Yes.
I felt like it was saying, if you've tried everything and you're still stuck, then take me home. It was sort of saying that to me.
Yeah.
So I did take the book home. And I was in the second paragraph of the first chapter. And it was talking about human suffering and adversity. And tears were just rolling down my face at the sense that I had at last landed on what I really needed. Because I was so moved by just those two paragraphs alone, right? And I knew instantly that there was truth being shared, and I knew instantly that there was something very special about this author, Madder Eliza Dalian. So I put the book to one side and started my scramble another way. And this time it was like, okay, I need to know more about this author. Who is she? Where is she?
Yes.
What's she about? Right?
Yeah.
And so that evening, I went onto her website, and I think I spent about 6 hours. I read every page of the website. I watched every YouTube video that existed, one after the other. And then I found the slot that said I have a practical method to help people. And I went, ding, I'm booking one of those.
Wow. And the rest is?
The rest is liberation, basically. Liberation from stupidity. Yeah. Because the Dalian method and Madder's unbelievable genius-like capacity to assist us, the combination of her being on this planet and this extraordinary gift that she's created is nothing short of that magic pill we're all looking for. Yeah, to set ourselves free from ourselves.
Wow. And as I understand, it takes work. It's not necessarily a magic pill, but it is a solution that has supported you in transforming in a very real way. And it was a lot of discipline and work to move through those. So would love for everyone to get a sense of what is the essence of the Dalian method and what's the process. It's a self-healing method, which I absolutely love, because it's not about a guru. It's not about a person, although Mara Eliza Dalian came up with the process. It's really empowering people with their own transformation, which I thought was phenomenal.
It's incredible. But I guess really when you're asking about the essence, it really is what you've just encapsulated in that sentence. Around the word empowering. So the best person to articulate what the method actually does is Mada, because it's her method. But from my practice with both the method and working directly with Mada, I would say that it's almost like a scientific formula, sort of like an antiviral program for human beings.
Ooh, nice.
And so by that, what I mean is anything that's not serving us, truthfully, and any aspect of our shadow personality, our anger, our jealousy, our envy, our insincerity, our fear, our competition, our comparison, our judgment, anything that exists within us that's not serving us, the Dalian method will both help you with compassion to see those traits, but more importantly, help you to transform them to their polar opposite. And in that transformation, leave behind a lesson and a learning for you that automatically grounds you and settles you, but also unites you with everybody outside of you. Right? Beautiful. So it's the true form of gratitude and positivity that we're looking for on this planet, but it's not happening with the mind. It's happening through consciousness. And it's happening through a shift at a cellular level. Unlike the way a lot of people describe that shifts are happening at a cellular level. Because this truly is a diamond that people have not yet recognized its potency.
And friends, if this is inspiring you in any way, Kindy has very generously offered the listeners of Vibrant Living with Nousha 10% off the first session that people can have. And she also does a consult beforehand to support people to get a sense of what it is that they want to clear out or transform. And thank you so much. And you also have generously also offered 2 ebooks. Tell us a little bit about those.
The 2 ebooks represent the 2 halves of me.
Oh, okay.
So then there's the Superwoman syndrome that was successful in corporate life, etc., with a heavy emphasis on leadership. So one of my ebooks is about the power of inward transformational leadership. And so it's the process of going inside. And it helps you to see how the 7 principles that have been talked about by Stephen Covey, how they can all effortlessly happen through use of the Dalian method, so that becomes part of your skill set naturally, not because you're forcing yourself to learn how to implement them, right? So that's one of the ebooks, which is about inward transformational leadership. And the other ebook is about the other half of my life that needed repairing and a better understanding, and that's my home life. So my other ebook is about the 5 secrets to unfolding a happy, peaceful, and loving family environment. And the reason why I wrote that is because there was a lot of conflict in my home, and a lot of friction, which I think people begin to say or almost accept that that's part of family life. Like, for example, they'll say, oh, you know, the teenage phase is really tough to deal with.
Yes.
And then they'll laugh, and then somebody might sigh, and then that's it.
Yes.
Whereas I wasn't prepared to accept it as just being that. I wanted to understand, well, why is the friction arising? What is the volatility about? Why is there a difference of opinion on certain things? Why did the judgment even arise? Yeah. And so this book is more about the 5 key elements that are required for us to take responsibility for individually that help there to be harmony in the home. Whereas we can then stop the giggle that sort of says, oh yeah, I don't get on with my sister. Or, yeah, you know, she's always like that, she's a drama queen, or whatever. Instead of that, you're able to create a bond with each other that is as strong as you might have with the friends you choose or with the people that you have more control over in terms of bringing them and inviting them into your world. Wow. You can have that type of respect for the people at home.
Wow. Beautiful. Friends,
that's my second
these are her gifts. So you can find all of that on NoushaBehbahanian.com under the resources section. It is such a joy to have Kindy as one of our vibrant community service partners. So enjoy all these gifts. So my grateful. Pleasure. So Kindy, wow, it's so inspiring to see what you've done with your own health and well-being and the ripple effect it's created in your family. What do you see as your vision, mission moving forward to continue to elevate health on the planet?
I think my personal contribution is really about understanding that health is more than what we think when we go to see a Western doctor. And that health has many components in it, but ultimate health lies in awakening our consciousness and expanding it by dismantling and dissolving the aspects within us that are actually part of our blind spots. So my personal work is very much about sharing this in family lives. It's about sharing this so that youngsters can actually be helped to come out of limiting patterns that they've already inherited from their parents, and that the unity within a family unit can be so strong that we don't have to have wounded leaders in the world. We actually have empowered leaders that are going into the world to make their contribution. So if we can start at home, we can get a lot more done. And I would like to be part of the people that helps to make the contribution at home.
Wow, so beautiful. Oh, Kindy, thank you. Thank you for your commitment, your patience, and your compassion with yourself as you transformed your emotional health. And I love the ripple effect that it has created in your family, in our community, as well as in organizations that you have worked with both locally and nationally, really for people to experience this true liberation and transformation from the inside out. So thank you.
Yeah, it's such a privilege to have found the Dalian method, and it's such a privilege now to be able to have even one person see its potency and its impact, because like one more person means that it rolls out to yet another family life. And it's a lifetime tool. It's a tool that becomes part of your toolkit that you carry through your entire life. And I don't think we need to grope or struggle or scramble looking for answers when something this profound is available for us to use day in, day out.
Wow. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Friends, thank you for being here and being part of this conversation. Kindy is actually on our Vibrant Living community, so if you are inspired to start a conversation, ask some questions, please do so. Join us there. Kindy is there, and we have some beautiful conversations. As well, thank you for being here and hearing Kindy's beautiful story. And as we so beautifully shared just now, the ripple effect is immeasurable. So friends, if you can think of someone that is a superwoman or someone that can use this kind of support in transforming their life, their family life, or even if they're a leader in an organization, then please do take one moment, invest a moment, and share this episode. Because again, the ripple effect is immeasurable, and we are all here to elevate consciousness on the planet together.
Yeah.
So
particularly if leaders can actually find this will be absolutely brilliant.
Yes. Beautiful. So thank you again, Kindy.
Thank you, Nousha. That's very cute. Very, very sweet of you to have me here. And thank you, audience, for listening. I hope you found something in this that was empowering.
And friends, until next time, be vibrant, be bright. It's your birthright. Now, let's go out there and shine our light. Thank you for investing this time with me on the Vibrant Living with Nousha podcast. I'm so glad that you joined our conversation. If you would take 2 minutes to positively impact someone's life by sharing this episode, that would be wonderful. Please leave us a review by visiting iTunes. Let us know what you enjoy and what you'd like to see more of. It will support us on our journey to causing a worldwide epidemic of vibrant living. Until next time, be vibrant, be bright. It's your birthright. Now, let's go out there and shine our light.